Ew. So, we currently have 5 people in. We want to get to at least 6 people. And 8 people is that golden zone where we have a beautiful looking bracket without any buys. That's the goal. We're going to delay entries for 30 minutes. We're going to start the Immortal Tears at 1 o'clock my time in 31 minutes from now. If you're interested in joining, I can walk you through the process right here in stream chat. We just need one more person for 6 players and we can play with buys. 3 more people. If we can get that in 30 minutes, we can get a nice, beautiful, rounded bracket. Now, for our prizes, I still haven't added in the entry fees to the prize pool, so there will be more platinum prizes than I am listing. But for first place, we have 1,100 platinum, 1 Reese the Crestcrawler, 1 Brilliant Annihilix, 1 Kindling Skarn, 1 Voice of Deendra, and 1 Alternate Art X Engine, along with 2 set 1 packs, 2 set 2 packs, 2 set 4 packs, 1 set 6 pack, 1 set 7 pack, 1 set 8 pack, 1 set 9 pack, and 1 Kismet's Draft pack, along with a paid spin legendary set 9 and set 2 chest. Ooh. For set 2, we also have 1,100 platinum. We also have a Reese the Crestcrawler, along with 3 set 1 packs, 3 set 2 packs, 1 set 4 pack, 1 set 9 pack, and also a legendary set 9 paid spin chest. Third place, we have 1,000 platinum, 1 Reese the Crestcrawler, 1 set 1 pack, 1 set 2 pack, 1 set 4 pack, and also a legendary paid spin set 9 chest. And for 4th place, they are getting their entry fee pack back of 400 platinum, along with 4 salt harpies and 1 set 1 pack. And then sometime during the tournament today on stream, we'll be giving away a draft pack. Most likely before the finals, or yeah, before the finals, while losers bracket is still catching up, we'll run that giveaway. I'm going to discuss it with the chat inside of Discord, see if people are willing to run it as a 5-man if we don't wind up getting a 6th person. I'll get back to you guys with more information. In other news, we got a Friday update today, and one thing I'm really happy about with the Friday update, I know happy is a really weird word for slightly bad news. We got a written statement from Corey talking about them just having some issues catching up financially because of the player drop and how they're used to spending their money and going to a unpublished development team. They allude to wanting to expand. This could be, you know, buying up new employees, doing advertisement, and self-promoting. This could be a merger with another company. It could be a sellout to another company. We have no idea. All we know is they're not really allowed to talk about it. But I'm really happy just to get a written statement from the devs. Outside of the Wednesday stream, most communications we've had with the devs over the last couple of weeks has just been automated messages about updates to top 128, a couple Twitter posts. Really, we haven't had any real communications with the devs over the last couple of weeks, and I'm just happy to see some communication, to know what's going on, at least as much as they can tell us. And best of luck to Hex as a whole. It's definitely one of my favorite games, and I plan on sticking around in Hex. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get back to the break and continue handling new people joining. Again, if you guys want to join the Immortal Tears, just ask me in chat. I'll walk you through it. If you're a member of Prismatic, you should already know how to join. The entry fee is 400 platinum, and the prize pool is amazing. It's a double elimination Immortal tournament. I'll talk to you guys again in a bit.
Time comes, be ready, don't you hesitate. There's nobody left in the world who could ever shake my faith. Holding me back, holding this back, don't you see? You can count on me, put it down on me, 'cause now it's all on me. When the time comes, be ready, don't you hesitate. There's nobody left in the world who could ever shake been waiting for so long. Now those feelings are so gone. I don't care what else goes on. We will take you away in the night when you see me, and I'm feeling free. Leave me to play. We bring the heat, we bring the fire, we bring the dirt, we'll take you higher. We bring the heat, we bring the fire, we bring the dirt, we'll take you higher. We bring the heat, we bring the fire, we bring the dirt, we'll take you higher. We feel the place with our entire face splitting, bass driven gunfire. Face splitting, bass driven gunfire.
Hey, yo. How's everybody doing? This is the wrong page. Whoops. That's not where I'm supposed to be. Great start. Anyways, guys, we've got the brackets up for the Immortal Tears. We're starting round one. We're starting out with 4 players, which isn't enough to have a round tournament, but it's enough to have one loser. Anyways, guys, it looks like we're going to have PRG, Sergeant Vito, and Slim Havens with the round 1 bye having to do a 1 less match to make it into those finals. And then we have Novocaine versus Recoxalol in round 1, who were not lucky enough to get those byes. This is a Immortal double elimination tournament. These players are now allowed to place against their round 1 opponents. After we get the first match reports, we'll start spectating games. I'll see you guys on the other side when we first start getting our match reports. Talk to you guys in a bit. Yo, so I've updated the prize lists to take into account the 2000 platinum from entry fees. So now first place is paying out 2000 platinum in addition to a long list of battle chest prizes. 1 Reese the Crest Crawler, 1 Brilliant Annihilix, 1 Kindling Scar, and 1 Voice Deandra, 1 AA X Engine, 2 set 1 packs, 2 set 2 packs, 2 set 4 packs, 1 set 6 pack, 1 set 7 pack, 1 set 8 pack, 1 set 9 pack, a Kismet's draft pack, along with a legendary 8 spin, set 9, and set 2 chest. In second place, we have 2000 platinum as well, a Reese the Crest Crawler as well, 3 set 1 packs, 3 set 2 packs. That's an additional set 1 and set 2 pack from first place. 1 set 4 pack, 1 set 9 pack, and a legendary set 9 paid spin chest. For third place, we have 1,200 platinum. That's 800 platinum less than first or second place. Also, a Reese the Crest Crawler, 1 set 1 pack, 1 set 2 pack, 1 set 4 pack, and another legendary set 9 paid spin chest. And then fourth place is making their money back at 400 platinum, along with 4 Salt Harpies and a set 1 pack as a consolation prize. And then later on, around the start of the finals, we'll be giving away a draft pack in the Steam giveaway or stream giveaway. That would be 100 platinum and 3 set 9 packs. So look forward to that. I'll be back when we're starting to get our first matches announced and we can switch over to spectating. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, these players are still in round one, but we're going to be able to watch their match. Or they're still in round two, but we're going to be able to watch their match and join them in round two. And if there's a round three, join them in round three. These are our first round opponents, our only players that didn't get a round one bye because we have a 5-man tournament. Of course, we're talking about Novocaine and Rikixel, or Rikixel, playing Wintermoon versus Kagulichu. Wintermoon's on a tricolor list, possibly just splashing these other colors, while Novocaine's on the tricolor Kagu list. We saw the tricolor Kagu list in the last Immortal Tears. I think it came in third place when it was being piloted. They've got some amount of prophecy from Wintermoon. It's probably a control list. I don't know what immortal lists really run Wintermoon at the moment. Control list, Dread-In, Psychic Ascension, so it just looks like hard control Wintermoon. Versus good stuff tricolor Kagulichu. On Kagulichu, we have the Sack Gym and Abomination Gym in Runir Hierophant. This is definitely a different choice than we're used to, usually opting for a Spell Shield on Runir Hierophant. Trading Thunderfield Seer here. Getting a Psychic Torment out of the Runir Hierophant off of the Transmogrified is a very, very good roll. It's essentially a dead card, maybe even a helpful card when you're playing Wintermoon. Annie with speed and most likely discard gem. Yes, definitely discard a random card gem, which will be decent against this control matchup. However, we have Pipit Hustler on Wintermoon's side. Pipit Hustler able to answer Annie pretty effectively, possibly even being able to take out a high priority target along with the Annie. Off of the Kagulichu power, we get the Rabbit back into hand, getting us potentially more resources, and throwing a Brilliant Annihilix, a Runir Hierophant, and a Paw of Yazukan all into the crypt. Yazukan cleanly answering the Pippa Hustler. What do we have left in crypt on this side? We have one Runir Hierophant and one Annihilix. So 2 Rotten Rancor targets if he gets Rotten Rancor off the top of the deck. Meanwhile, we have some Dread-Ins on Wintermoon's side, which may wind up not being particularly good if Kagu gets a fair amount of damage in. But it should be able to answer this board rather effectively and stop Rotpaw Gang from being able to coming back from its charge power. So I expect to definitely see a Dread-End here, no reason not to. This hand feeling a little bit bad. Another Dread-End for another board wipe isn't horrible. Psychic Ascension is still a couple turns away, and the hand is down on cards. Wintermoon putting 2 unnamed cards back into the deck. We didn't quite get to catch what those are. These Dreadlings being in crypt are kind of a nerf to Kagulichu's ability. Just sacking up to get Flight and Life Drain on this Rot Pod gang. However, it's definitely going to be Dread-ended here. Do not want to see 6 life loss. Now we do get to see a main deck Lurking Rotjaw come out. It's a Rebirth, Death Cry, target opposing troop gets -1/-1. I guess this is a pretty decent troop for fighting Annies, maybe is why it's in the main board. We have the sneaky Brown Fox Scout coming from the top of the deck. This will probably trade. We're looking at either taking out a 1/1 or going 1-for-1 with the Rotjaw, which isn't really a 1-for-1 since the Rotjaw has Rebirth. Psychic Ascension, almost playable. Kagulichu in a little bit of a tough spot at the moment. Draw 2 cards on that deny, or draw 3 cards on that deny. That was an amazing deny there. And getting a Brown Fox Scout off the top of the deck, and another Brown Fox Scout coming from on top of the deck. The card advantage is pretty good here. To protect the Psychic Ascension was a pretty decent pickup, however he also had Runebind to help protect that. Psychic Ascension being played here while being able to hold that 3/2 on the board with a Runebind and Transmography to follow it up with just a Battle Hopper, a Psychic Torment, and a resource in Kagulichu's hand. I think that Wintermoon's got this. Resource, not a horrible pickup since you can get a random reaction from it. Spirit Dance, increasing the value of all the troops inside of the deck, giving them +2/+2 and cost -2. Picking up a Chompasaur that's going to get rid of the Psychic Torment and gain Paragon of Thought 2 health. It looks like it's going to be a game 1 for Novi versus Rixolol. Let's see how game 2 goes in just a little bit. Hey, and we're back into game two of Novocaine versus Arkix LOL. Wintermoon winning the first game. Let's see how game two goes, and if these players go to a game three, Wintermoon on a hard control list versus a bit more of a tempo version of the tricolor Kagu deck. We have the unfortunate turn 1 Brown Fox Scout on top of deck. That's not going to be able to play played off the top of the deck. Have another brown. Actually, he shuffled another card on top of his deck. I don't know. Missed that one. Brown Fox Scout coming out, trading for the 3/3 doesn't seem too bad. 2 mana removal for that troop is not horrible. Runer Hierophant having its sockets changed. It is now Spell Shield and Rhino's Gem. Either that or he has a mix of sockets in his deck. Spell Shield being an okay choice when your opponent's playing things that transform it into other troops. 1 cost removal. Playing the Brown Fox into the deny to stop the troop and hold back the Runeer from swinging was a very strong play. I did not see that coming, at least not at this speed. We have a Threads of Life in Kagulichu's hand. Threads of Life being a pretty good card for bringing back Runeer Hierophants and Brilliant Annihilexes. Brilliant Annihilex, unfortunately, if it swings in this turn, is probably going to be trading with that 3/2. However, it does allow Runeer Hierophant to swing in. But Brown Fox Scout with a deny off the top of the deck was a beautiful answer for that. These answers being really good, and I'm loving the Brown Fox Scouts with the deny. This tech is real. Lots of card draw coming from Wintermoon in the near future. We do have a Pipit in hand, but no Pipit at quick speed. Kagu has to worry a little bit about a Runebind here, but really it's looking like it's going to be play Resource, play Rotpaw, fast turns. Because trading Runeer for 2/3/2s does not feel very worth this time. He's offering the trade for the 2 troops and holding the Thread of Life in hand. Not actually that bad of a play. So we have double Pipit Hustler in hand, allowing him to trade for the Runeer if he swings again, and I guess turn a Battle Hopper into a random 0-drop, assuming Rotpaw Gang doesn't get played early. No early Rotpaw Gang, but this Pipit Hustler is going to give them a good trade for Runeer Hierophant, allowing him to also keep the 3/2 Brown Fox Scout in play. Our Grixlol has a deceptive number of cards in hand. We have Arcane Focus with an extra draw card on it. Sapphire Ice does not have the draw card on it. I think he's already played the draw card resource. And then, well, that's it. Just 1 extra card off of the Arcane Focus, and it looks like we've already played our other draw card cards. So we have another quick troop in hand, along with another deny. There's some very good Sapphire Wild Quick troops for these denies to work off of. So Rotpa Gang possibly turning into a random 5-drop after it sacks this Battle Hopper. Cottontail Explorer. We get Brilliant Annihilix from deck. Along with, what did we shuffle into Crypt here? The Count Dragomir, which we could have already told was in his deck just from his color choice, and no new information in the Crypt. The Hustler coming out and making a 3/3/5 drop. That was a very, very high roll, and it hurts a lot for Kagulichu, and this Brilliant Annihilix is not going to be able to get through these multi-threshold troops. Meanwhile, we have Thunderfield Elder coming down, giving the next action in his deck, Copy Me, and we also get to hold up a deny on Wintermoon's side. A possible questionable trade from Wintermoon there. Not wanting to double block into that Annie. Lots of resources coming out of Wintermoon. But a fair number of cards with draw one or multiple cards shuffled back into deck. Another Runir Hierophant with Spell Shield in Rhino's Gem on it in hand. So Kagulichu has the troops to bring this back up. Wintermoon just needs to find not resources. Wintermoon found not resources, making this significantly harder for Kagulichu. That's going to be at least 3 more card draws in the near future, 6 more card draws in the near future. That's a ton of card advantage coming out of Wintermoon. Kagu all the way down at 8 health, and we see the Psychic Ascension hit the board. This is probably going to be game. Trading an Annie for the profit there, and losing the next Annie to a Brown Fox Scout off the top of the deck. With 1 resource in hand, 1 Polyberry Pouch on field, and Wintermoon turned into Paragon of Thought with a crazy board. It's just too much, and that's going to be game 2. That's 2-0. R-Kick Slow versus Novocaine. It was an exciting match. That was our only round 1 match. Everybody else got buys. Now everybody is in round 2. Possibly 1 round 2 match will be moving on to round 3. I'll see you guys in a bit with the brackets. Okay, so the brackets have been updated. In round one, we just watched R Kixlol beat Novocaine. In round two, Slim Havens beat Sargon Vito, bringing him up into the semifinals. And then R Kixlol is going to be fighting PRG for round two PRG with a round one bye as well. Let's go and watch Sargon Vito versus Slim Havens game. And then after that, we can go back and watch PRG's game to see what PRG is running. See you guys in the game. Okay, here we are. We have Slim Havens on Cassia Golden Light versus Sargon V2 on V2 Vito on Kagulichu, most likely the tricolor Kagulichu deck. It's very popular in the Prismatic Guild. So we have a Sapphire Diamond, what looks like a Turbopod deck. Or maybe not a Turbopod deck. Maybe this is a Tokens deck. Seeing this Iljune's Parade come out. Iljune or Iljunes? Iljunes. It looks like it's going to be a mulligan on Cassia's side with only one resource in hand. However, there's a fair amount of Fate Weave, maybe not a mulligan. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, we have double Howling Brave and a Cottontail Ronin, but no Annihilix, no Howling, or no Runir Hierophant, which are, the two turn 2 bombs you really want to see. Call them 2 turn bombs because Howling Brave will allow you to accelerate them out on turn. Count Dragomir coming out of deck is pretty good here. He's going to be able to accelerate to turn 5 resources by turn 3 using these 2 Howling Braves. Being able to get out an early Count Dragomir. Meanwhile, on Cassia's side, we see a lot of card draw. We don't have the tokens out just yet. Light the Votives at Escalate 1, but not very far away from being able to use these Consult the Talons to really push that drive function through the roof. The turn 3 Count Dragomir, a very big threat, and our only real answer on Cassia Golden Knight's Slim Haven side is Runebind at the moment, and that's just a temporary answer. This Rotten Rancor into Eternal Seeker is looking like it could be a Game 1 finisher, just waiting for an opportunity to use it. That is a full board wipe on almost anything Cassia can create. We see a Culmination of Blood encrypt mainboard Culmination of Blood that could be pretty massive in this matchup. But most likely not in game 1. So we got an early Runebind on that Count Dragomir. Cassia in a little bit of a tough spot here. This Rotpa gang is putting on a pretty big clock, and lots of resources going to need to be used on just drawing more cards here. Cyclone Cloud Shaper coming out of the deck. Cyclone Shaper is a very powerful card for this type of deck. It's going to allow them to just chain these Cosmic Callings, Insult the Talons, Wax Sacraments, or the Escalation Candlekin card, and just really create a lot of tempo in one turn. We've got another Runebind coming out of deck. Runebind not hitting Rotpa Gang, probably going to hit Rotpa Gang now that Balthazar is being played, just to prevent the 6 life and 6 draw card. No, hitting the Balthazar instead of the Rotpa Gang, meaning when he draws a resource, he's going to be able to gain those 6 draws anyways. So this turn's almost going to be decisive. Do we still have an Eternal Seeker Encrypt? No, he has to play it from hand. So Eternal Seeker is not going to be able to answer the Cyclone Cloud Shaper along with the rest of the board. He's going to have to choose to either answer the Cyclone Shaper or the rest of the board, which Cyclone Shaper seems like an obvious choice right now. Hitting that Iljune's Parade is pretty big as well. So right now, I believe Kagulichi's trying to think about Cyclone Cloud Shaper or the entire suite of drops. It looks like they're choosing the Cyclone Cloud Shaper and developing a Runir Hierophant by bringing Runir Hierophant back from the crypt with Rotten Rancor and using Count Dragomir's power. This is looking like about all she wrote for game 1, unless we have a way to play Cosmic Calling for free, and it doesn't look like there is. Now Slimhaven is here in chat and says they did make a dire miscalculation or a misfate weave in game 1. I kinda missed where that was at. The only big play mistakes that we noticed in chat with this very fast-paced game was just hitting the Balthazar over hitting the Rotpa gang, and really, I think I understand that play. It might have been just to try and prevent the resource draw for that turn and keep the Count Dragomir from coming back from Rootbind. So that was game 1 of this round 2 match. I'll be right back with you guys for game 2 of this round 2 match. See you guys in just a little bit.
Protects my heart.
Okay, we have game 2 in between Slim Havens and Sargon Veto. Slim Havens with a little bit of a slow hand, but having an unhinged, assuming that Kagulichu is missing a turn 2 Runir Hierophant or Brilliant Annihilix. Meanwhile, in Kagulichu's hand, we see turn 2 Cottontail Ronin, another turn 2, not Ronin, Cottontail Explorer, 2 turn 2 Cottontail Explorers, a Brilliant Annihilix, Rotten Rancor, and Eternal Seeker. So we see some shard fixing, 2 remnants. It doesn't have the super acceleration turn of turn 1 Runir Hierophant or turn 1 Howling Brave into turn 2 Runir Hierophant or Brilliant Annihilix, but it still has a decent hand to curve out on. Another Cyclone Shaper coming out of Cassia's deck. Cyclone Cloud Shaper is a very dangerous card, allowing him to accelerate through almost his entire deck. Meanwhile, Kagulichu picking up a second Annie. Annie's pretty strong when you're trying to look for some card advantage. We see Drowned Shrines coming in from the reserves, which are pretty important when your opponent's looking to potentially combo off with Cyclone Cloud Shaper. However, even with a lot of draw function, we only saw the Consult the Talents, I think, for draw function. I think everything else was look and pick. Possibly just playing around Drowned Shrine a little bit. Any coming in and sniping one of these parades out of hand, a pretty good pick. We do have the 0 cost Unhinge in hand, which is pretty massive. No play on the Iljune's parade there, maybe trying to bluff something. We see Frost Wizard as a counter tech from Cassia, trying to harm the charge power of Kagulichu in the ability to bring things back, potentially. Kagulichu already down to 11 life, these 2 flyers doing some damage. Meanwhile, Sargon Veto trying to decide if a Rotten Rancor is appropriate here to bring back the Annie and hit something with it, or to play something else, I guess. So trading the Annie and Rotten Rancor for Frost Wizard. It's kind of a harsh setback. We see Runir Hierophant coming out, but maybe a little bit late. 1 resource off from these Eternal Seekers in hand, though. Eternal Seeker being able to wipe up these Cyclone Cloud Shapers and really turn this game around. No resource here, not what Kagulichu's looking for. Withering Gaze, unfortunately, is not going to find anything. However, I don't think you would play Withering Gaze in this situation anyways. You'd probably just be looking to get the value out of Annie and holding Withering Gaze. And then we get a Concede coming through without an answer to these flyers. locking in game 2 of this round 2 match. We'll see you guys for game 3 of this round 2 match. Talk to you in just a little bit.
So we would hear it and find him.
And we're back for game 3 of Sargon Vito versus Slimhaven. So on Sargon Vito's side, we've got a very questionable hand here. Most likely a mulligan, unless you want to be super greedy and hope to get this Cottontail Explorer going. Meanwhile, on Slimhaven's side, we've got a very, very keepable hand. We've got some counterattack, some draw function, some Fate Weave. This is a very nice hand. We get the mulligan, and we get the Drowned Shrine tech, along with a turn 2 Brilliant Annie. That was a beautiful mulligan. Turn 2 Annie could be a very strong play here, and getting that Drowned Shrine out before this Insult the Talon can hit the board is going to be very strong for the matchup. It's also going to be able to shut down Guidance if Guidance doesn't get played in time. We're just going to see the turn 2 Drowned Shrine just really trying to lock out some of these cards. No Blood Shard for the Annie anyways makes it into a pretty fair play. So I'm guessing this is a search in between either Wax Sacrament or the Blood Threshold here from Munsagi Lilypad. And Wax Sacrament for the totem it is, or totem. Token. Meanwhile, Slimhaven's dropping down that Cyclone Sky Shaper, Cloud Shaper, Cyclone Normal Shaper, Cyclone Nothing Shaper, which would be very powerful here if it wasn't for the fact that Guidance and Consult the Talon are both very dead in this hand. At this point, just being discard fodder. And not very effective discard fodder at that, apparently. Losing that 50-50. Rotten Rancor would be amazing if it wasn't for the fact that this Frost Wizard is locking it down. We've got some hard trades that Kagu's having to make here just due to the pressure that Tokens is putting on him. Shards not good, Charge Power not good, Rotten Rancor not good. This Frost Wizard's doing as much work for his opponent as his Drowned Shrine is doing for him. Count Dragomir here to really trade up this game, though. This looks like it might have been a misplay using Charge Power to put the bottom 3 cards of your deck into your crypt and revealing a random card from your crypt and putting it into your hand. When another card enters your hand or play from your crypt, destroy target opposing card. This might have just been a misread on Count Dragomir's power. Don't know for sure what was going on there. Runebind possibly being able to trade this one out. If we can get rid of Count Dragomir long enough, he's able to push enough damage to just outspeed Kagulichu. He's going to need to play the Runebind one way or another. It's just a question of, do you play it here and start pushing damage, or do you wait and just wind up falling behind on the tempo? And definitely just going for the 2-turn clock. Unfortunately, finding a resource off the top for Kagulichu. Really unfortunate for Cassia. What does Cassia get off the top? An Empowered Cyclone Shaper. Game's not over yet. Runar Hierophant coming as well. Kagulichu again on the back pedal, having to fight and scrape for every ounce of tempo in this game. We'll probably see the 4-6 swing here. I don't know, it could be a little bit risky, but it does set up for lethal. The 4-6 does swing. And then we see the block come out here, not risking going down to 1. And let's see what we get off the top of the deck here. If it was removal for this 4-6, may wind up regretting his decision. Making the play to stay alive versus the play to try and win. And we get a Well of Life. That's going to be GG. Slim Haven's going to win out against Sargon Vito. Or most likely going to win out. Not lethal on board yet, but very hard to recover from this board state, needing something along the lines of a Eternal Seeker here, and even then Eternal Seeker would get rid of Empowered. Yeah, Eternal Seeker might have been able to swing that for him. Drowned Shrine killing his own Mansario, or Munario Sensei. Maybe should have brought out the Munario Senseis in the reserves when bringing in the Drowned Shrines. I don't know for sure what the play on that is, but that is going to be a GG. Changing up our brackets. So, Slim Havens goes on to the semifinals. We already had this information, and also PRG beat our round 1 winner, Rick Ixel. Arkixlol. Going on to the semifinals. So that puts Sargon Vito versus Novocaine in the losers bracket. And then whoever wins that matchup is going to be fighting Arkixlol. Round 2 of the losers bracket. And then whoever wins that is going to go to round 3 of the losers bracket and fight our semi-final loser, or a chance at winning in the finals. I'll see you guys in just a little bit with our next game. I'm going to see who's reported their matches. We're either going to be fighting or watching the semifinals, or we're going to be going back and watching the losers brackets. See you guys in just a little bit. We've updated the brackets. It looks like Sargon Vito beat out Novocaine. Novocaine taking the odd seat out and being the one man in this tournament to go home with nothing and feeding our first three players, our first three seats. We're going to go ahead and watch PRG versus Slim Havens in the semifinals. They're probably in their game 2 or game 3 around this time. So we'll be able to watch that without any bracket spoilers. I'll see you guys in game. Okay, so we are back with the match in between Slim Havens and PRG. We have not seen PRG's deck yet. Either that or PRG switched up decks. I don't know. I thought we saw PRG's deck. Anyways, we see Slim Havens versus PRG. PRG on a Yodel Magok. The winner of this match will be guaranteed either first or second place, where the loser will go on to the losers brackets and will be fighting for third place and a chance at first or second. So this is the semifinals match for the top winners bracket place. Yodel, probably the traditional burn deck with light 'em ups added. Very spooky deck to come across in Immortal, but a very linear deck. Yes, we got light 'em ups. This is a Sun Soul Phoenix variant for the spooky birds. Looks like we have a pretty good starting hand from both players' sides. Yodel Maguk not having some of the really big cards you want to see, but light 'em up's pretty good. Being able to bring the light 'em up back and push out this Sun Soul Phoenix will be pretty decent. Yeah, that looks like a turn 4 Sun Soul Phoenix with this hand. From PRG. Meanwhile, on the side of Slim Havens, we get to see turn 1 Light the Votives. Slim Havens has about everything they want. They have ways to look for resource and non-resource cards. They got good draw function. They got this Cloud Shaper. They got the token generation. So Slim Havens could definitely wind up pulling some stuff out here. Meanwhile, we get a Cremate from Yodel Magok's side. That is a very decent card with this hand. Being able to pull up that light 'em up and potentially get a better Sun Soul Phoenix turn. We also got a lot of charges coming out for Yodel Magok. Being able to keep that charge power on and increase the non-combat damage of your cards by 1. We still see an Iljun's Parade, very powerful card, a game ender card. From Cassia there to pump up all the tokens by +2/+2. Not currently playable. But not that big of a concern at this time, as they're just looking to accelerate at the moment. We have light 'em up, cremate, light 'em up, right? Or light 'em up, cremate, light 'em up, Sun Soul Phoenix. This is a pretty powerful turn. Be able to throw 3 damage at face, develop a pretty big board. Only thing they're really worried about is a Runebind, and really Runebind isn't too much of an impedance on this turn. Are we going to see charge power on this turn for the extra 1 damage from Cremate? I don't really see why not. No charge power, so down 1 damage. Going for the extra token, so he can make these 1/1s into 3/3s next turn, and throwing that 4 damage out from the flyer. Meanwhile, on Cassia's side, maybe a little bit too slow for this amount of tempo. A Cloud Shaper is not going to develop board enough to be able to stop this next turn. So they're looking at defensive measures at this point. If they don't develop a decent defensive board, they're taking at least 10 damage next turn. Potentially 13 damage. So this is going to look like a Cloud Shaper block on the Sun Soul Phoenix. To avoid lethal. Actually, this is a double light 'em up or triple light 'em up. Double light 'em up. Okay. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a forced double block if he full swings here. Down to 3 life with the infusion device in play. Really doesn't have the tools to make that kind of miracle happen, and we are going to look at the next match here. Tried to go for it with the Cloud Shaper to get those free cards off, but unfortunately, nothing to gain that extra 4 life he's going to need to stop the blood infusion device from killing him. So that was game 1 of the semifinals in between PRG and Slim Havens. We will go and look at game 2. That was Slim Havens and PRG, right? Yeah. I'll see you guys in just a little bit for game 2. And we're back. This is game 2, PRG versus Slim Havens in the semifinals. The winner of this, again, is guaranteed either first or second place in the tournament, as third and fourth place are decided by the losers bracket. We have Yodel Magok, some Burn with Phoenixes, with a very poor starting hand, versus Cassia Golden Knight on a Diamond Sapphire token stack. Also, I have noticed from these games that PRG is a very slow player, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It means they take time to think about their turns. And we have some thunder going on in the background here, guys, so you might hear a little bit of whining. My dog is very afraid of the thunder. And tail wagging as she bumps the desk. Anyways, on Yodel Maguk's side, we have some rather strong early game plays. We have the Kappa Duelist without the traditional Kappa art into light 'em up, double light 'em up in hand, a very strong engine, along with two arena regulars that might just be a little bit too slow for this hand. Whereas on Castia's side, we do see the Cyclone Shaper, and Cyclone Shaper is a very strong card for this deck. Cyclone Shaper also not having an answer in Yodel Maguk's hand makes it into a super spooky threat. These Light the Votives is also going to shut down the Light 'em Up in a matter of the Light 'em Up isn't going to be able to produce enough dudes to overwhelm the tokens player for a while to come. We have PRG thinking about how they're going to be playing out their turns, probably going to shoot down this Cyclone Shaper before it causes too much of a problem. However, also debating just building their own board of tokens to be able to clash their opponent. We see the target onto the Cyclone Cloud Shaper. Now we're going to look and see if he's going to runebind his own troop here to try and protect it. Runebinding the bird instead of his own troop here. Interesting choice. That is a massive swing, starting to threaten lethal. Cassia not very low on health. Still has 8 damage on the board. However, after that Cyclone Shaper is down, they have no non-resources left in their hand, and Yodel is going to be building a board and stopping these tokens, preferably. Crackling Bolt is going to hang out with us on the stack here for a while, you know, just enjoying the bugged life. Don't just ignore him. He's in the crypt. He just doesn't know how to hang out in the crypt instead of on the stack. He's new to this game. The Candlekins now up on 2/2s, 3/2/2s, able to trade really effectively with this board, assuming we don't see another Illuminate come out of Cassia Golden Light in the near future. No! Going with another 1/1, not being able to trade as efficiently. Arcane Focus into a resource. Feels bad, man. Yodel taking the full brunt of the damage. Dead if there's a flyer coming through, dead if there's a board wipe somewhere in that deck, which I don't think there is. However, these Candlekin can become massive here. We have a +3/+3 potentially, giving us up to 12 damage plus another extra 1-2 damage. 14 damage, not enough for lethal. If Cassia winds up getting a way to illuminate, not with charge power, but with a shard, nope, not that wouldn't change anything. I guess Cassia's mainly looking for And Iljune's here? And they found it. This is going to push down the entire Candlekin defense. And now Yodel is on the back foot again, needing to worry about these tokens on the board. Can create enough Candlekin to save their life from these tokens for now, but that's going to use up all of their resources, and they're not going to develop anything this turn. Man, it's thundering pretty bad, or storming pretty bad outside right now. Bless you, cat. So we're just continuing to go through these motions, make more Candlekin to chump block the 3/3s. Now I think this would have been a very different board state if we had taken out the Candlekin with 3/2/2 Candlekins trading 1 for 1, rather than trying to build a larger board. But I see the merit of trying to build the bigger board and just hoping the opponent doesn't have anything. Fortunately, without a 4th resource, just not being able to develop anything on any of these turns is very horrible for Yodel. Cassia finding a Runebind, which means this is GG, with a hand full of troops and a light 'em up on Yodel's side. And that was game 2 of PRG versus Slim Havens. I'll see you guys in just a little bit for game 3. Expect a small delay as I comfort this dog. Okay, guys, sorry about the delay. I just had to give the dogger her comfort medication stuff. It's not really medication, it's like a dog treat, an anxiety dog treat. Just to help her cope with the thunder a little bit. And we are now back in game. This is game 3 of the semifinals in between Slim Havens and PRG. Let's see who the winner is. Who's going to be guaranteed a spot at first or second. So we've got decent starting hands out of both players. PRG looking for a third resource. Maybe one too many blood infusion devices in hand. Cassia Golden Knight. Not really wanting for anything right now. Maybe looking for a Cloud Shaper. They've got the Kappa Blade Duelist on turn 1. Pretty decent turn 1 for Yodel Magok. However, nothing to combo into it really at the moment. Yeah, that is... it's not too bad. Ebony Pawn off this top is pretty decent here. No third resource, unfortunately. But Ebony Pawn and the Kappa Blade Duelist with the charges to go along with them. Pretty powerful here, able to put on a clock. Golden Light not really having much in reserves, or Slim Havens not having too much in reserves for the Yodel matchup. At least nothing that we've really noticed. So, does PRG get a resource off the top? And there is a resource there. This is going to be a massive turn. Tapped out, no Cyclone Shaper. Got Charge Power, Kappa Duelist, Ebony Pawn, Whirling Brutalizer going to Butlerize Cassia, bringing them down to 6 HP, 6 life points, 6 health. And looks like it's going to be a lethal next turn with no real answers to this board. So I think Cassia just didn't have a very great reserves for this matchup, or didn't see their reserves options. Because it really looked like they just wanted to be faster or stronger than their opponent. We do see Yodel's reserves option here with the Inquisitor of Lumos here to try and punish them for all of their actions. Crackling Bolt into turning sideways. Looks like it's going to be GG. Slim Havens just suffering to Yodel on the play with the Kappa Duelist, Ebony Pawn, Whirling Brutalizer with no answers. That was GG. PRG getting into first or second place. Slim Havens not out of the tournament yet, going into the losers bracket, and still wind up in anywhere from 4th to 1st place. Guaranteed to at least be getting their platinum back at 4th place, as Novi is our 5th place loser, unfortunately, the only one walking away from this tournament with nothing. But Slim Havens can climb up back into the finals from the losers brackets and have a chance at fighting PRG for that 1st place. Let's go update the brackets. I'll be right back with you guys in a little bit. Exciting matches, exciting decks.
Yes, you've had it quite tough, always having bad luck. You think you're going crazy, look up, there's a new life waiting. Your head's buried in the sand, you've been dealt the wrong hand. Can't imagine how you feel, only you know that it's real. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on.
Okay, so we have PRG in the finals, who's going to be fighting whoever wins between Slim Havens and Sargon Vito. Sargon Vito beating out R. Kixlol. R. Kixlol, I believe that means R. Kixlol is going home with the 4th place prize. What is that again? That is 400 platinum, so their platinum entry fee returned. 4 salt harpies to represent being just outside of the cash prize zone, and 1 set 1 pack. So Arkixlol not going home with nothing, but not going home with much. Slim Havens and Sargon Vito are fighting to see who is going to move on from 3rd place. The loser of that match is going to be locked in at 3rd place with a prize pool of 1,200 platinum, a Reese the Crust Crawler, legendary set 2 card that was a meta staple back in the day, a set 1 pack, a set 2 pack, a set 4 pack, and a legendary set 9 paid spin chest. So while we were waiting for Slim Havens versus Sargon Vito to get a game or two under their belts and we can go and watch them in the replays, let's do a draft pack giveaway here in chat. Now, I don't think I set up a decent giveaway function, so give me just a moment on this. Obviously, I do all of the prep work in the world and just do a flawless experience, Kappa. Here we go. I can probably just use this function. Haha, hee hee ho ho. I haven't done any setting up, so forgive me if this fails. Well, don't forgive me, but don't be surprised. Okay, the giveaway thing isn't working, so I'm going to just do this the old-fashioned way with random numbers. Everybody loves random number games, right? It's so confusing and hectic. I love it too. Okay, so we have 1 draft pack to give away to show that you are active here in chat. I'm going to need you to pick a random number in between the number 1 and 30. Everybody's allowed to pick one number. The first person to list the number that I am thinking of in between 1 and 30 gets this draft pack. The draft pack is 100 platinum and 3 set 9 packs. If nobody picks it after a set amount of time, we'll just have everybody pick a second number, and I will be checking to see how many numbers you put into chat, so don't double number me, guys. Again, not to say random number in between 1 and 30. Why 1 and 30 when I could have chosen a different number? I don't know. Maybe I just like to watch you guys suffer. For a draft pack, that is enough resources to do one free draft. Well, not free because you still have to spend stuff on it, but you guys get the idea. Okay, it looks like we had 4 entries for the random number in between 1 and 30. So, to compensate for that, we will do a new number in between 1 and 10, go. Symphonium, you've chose the same number as Shinjika. You can choose another number if you wish, since your number was already taken. Hey, Hacky Channel. Okay, our Kixel. The number was, in fact, 3, but I love to watch people suffer and had people pick more numbers after you. So you have won the draft pack. I will send it to you after the game's over. I already have your IGN from you signing up to the game, and you will expect that in the mail after the tournament. Thank you guys very much for stopping by, and let's check out the next round. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, and we are here with the last round of the losers brackets, I believe. Yeah, last round. Last round of the losers brackets. We have Slim Havens versus Sargon Vito. The winner of this will have a chance at first or second. The loser of this will be locked in at third place with still a fairly substantial prize pool. We have Sargon Vito on Tricolor Kagulichu with good cards versus Cassia Slim Havens on Cassia Golden Light using the Diamond Sapphire tokens deck. Cassia having to do a mulligan game 1 into not a horrible hand to mulligan into. We have the Ice in opening hand and some card draw. Not the best hand, but definitely could have been far worse. Meanwhile, on Kagalichi's side, we have Howling Brave turn 1. Fortunately for Slim Havens, no Runir Hierophant or Infinitrix, Brilliant Annihilix to follow it up. However, there is a Withering Gaze here, which wrecks their only non-resource card in hand. Tough break coming across Withering Gaze main board. These ices will help Cassia Golden Light to find some non-resource cards that they desperately need. Meanwhile, Kagulichu also very much wanting some non-resource cards. Charge Power will hopefully help them out. Illusion's Parade, not terribly great at this stage, but also with Kagulichu having a pretty dud hand. Probably one of the more significant cards in hands right now. Let's see what Kagulichu can throw into his crypt. Getting a Rot Pot out of crypt is pretty big. The Cottontail Explorer is sort of a really sad drop into their crypt when they're trying to Rotten Rancor something out. Oh, this isn't a Rot Pot game, this is a Yazukan. Yazukan is going to be a pretty spooky card, especially with Cassia not really having much in the way of removal from the games that we've been watching. We get the Runebind in Cassia's hand, a temporary answer to some problems, possibly going to be able to carry enough tempo for these Iljuns to really push some damage through. So Yazukan hitting the board, Yazukan's going to be runebound. There's no reason for it to not to be, unless there's a top deck coming from Cassia to make a different line of play. Runebind temporarily taking out the Yazukan, pushing a lot of damage. Kagulichu in a very tough situation, finding the resource at least, helping them out a little bit. This Rotten Rancor is basically nil and forgotten, going to be able to prevent, what is it, 12 damage here? And kill one of these tokens, all pretty powerful. And doing exactly that, really stopping down this board, getting the Howling Brave back. Yazukan being a very powerful tool here. Is it enough to get him through the next turn, however? Yazukan gaining 3 life, being able to kill a 5/7 flyer, jumping a 2/2, putting him at 6 health, 7 health, keeping him alive at 1. Assuming Cassia here doesn't find a tool, and conceding? Was that a panic concede that we saw? I might have miscounted the health there, because I'm pretty sure that Kagulichu was alive at 1 there. With a potential to come back as a winner. There were some very bad hands on both sides, but let's see what happens in the next game. I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. And we are back with game 2 of the finalists of the losers bracket. Hagulichu versus Cassia Golden Knight Tokens versus Good Stuff Tricolor. This is a very harsh hand. Versus a hand with Runebind, a little bit of search, some draw function, and a key card in Cyclone Shaper. This is looking like it's going to be a very short game, unfortunately. No plays until turn 5 so far on Kagulichu's side. We'll see if there's any top decks to change this. Another Cyclone Shaper in hand, more draw function, just really going to pop off on the opponent's side. We get a Cottontail Explorer out, and we do have a Eternal Seeker in Crypt that could potentially wipe the board. Choosing to make the Candlekin over using a Charge Power. I guess Charge Power would potentially create a situation where you have the Eternal Seeker in hand rather than in play. Meanwhile, Runebind laying that Rotten Rancor. And at this point, Cassie is just going to pop off, I feel like. We've got some decent answers, decent card draw, a bunch of free cards courtesy of Cyclone Shaper, some free counter spells for troops. And threatening lethal next turn. We do get to see the Rotten Rancor here, but unfortunately another Runebind could stop this. And with the double unhinge on all of the resource options, that's GG. That puts Sargon Vito into 3rd place, still walking home with a decent prize pool. Our 3rd place prize pool for today, courtesy of all of our donations and entry fees, is 1,200 platinum, a Reese the Crest Crawler, a set 1 pack, a set 2 pack, a set 4 pack, and a legendary set 9 paid spin chest. I will see you guys in a little bit. Let's go check out the brackets, and if we have any information on the semifinals, I'm not going to update that there to keep it a surprise. Okay, so we have PRG versus Slim Havens in the finals. If PRG beats Slim Havens, PRG goes home with the 1st place prize of 2,000 Platinum, 1 Reese the Crest Crawler, 1 Brilliant Annihilix, 1 Kindling Skarn, 1 Voice of Deendra, 1 Double A Hex Engine, 2 set 1 packs, 2 set 2 packs, 2 set 4 packs, 1 set 6 pack, 1 set 7 pack, 1 set 8 pack, 1 set 9 pack, a Kismet's Draft Pack, and a legendary paid spin set 9 and set 2 chest. If PRG loses here, they will play yet again, both dropping down as loser brackets, because PRG has not yet lost a match. They have not yet had to grace the losers brackets with their presence. If PRG loses here, they have to fight again. And then Slim Havens has a chance to go home with that first place prize, and then the second place player will wind up going home with 2,000 Platinum, 1 Reese the Crust Crawler, 3 set 1 packs, 3 set 2 packs, 1 set 4 pack, 1 set 9 pack, and a legendary set 9 8 spin chest. Let's go in and check out their first match. These two players are still playing at this moment. I will see you guys in a little bit. Get hyped. Or something. Or your equivalent to hype. Yeah. So PRG and Slim Havens, they are both still in their first game. We do not have the first game from them yet to watch. So let's talk a little bit about these brackets, about Immortal Tears, and about other junk. So we have PRG versus Slim Havens. Now these two were fighting each other in the semifinals. Now they're back to fight each other again in the finals. Now, if PRG winds up having a deck that just matches really well against Slim Havens, PRG being on Yodel, Slim Havens being on tokens, and we did notice that Slim Havens happens to not do super well fighting against Yodel on the draw without much of a removal. I think all the removal that we saw from Slim Havens post reserves against Yodel in the previous matchups was just Runebind. I think that was it. The rest of it was just trying to go faster than them. So it might just be coin flip matches. My money is on Yodel having a slight advantage, Yodel needing some form of interaction usually to win. So it'll be interesting to see how those go out, but it's very possible that all of these matches might just be decided by coin flips. Now, for the Immortal Tears, now we didn't get too many people here today, but we did get 5. 5 was enough to run the Immortal Tears this month. I'm really happy to run the Immortal Tears this month, and we will be running the Immortal Tears again on the first Friday of next month. After we finish this tournament, I'm going to start accepting donations to build that prize pool up. It's going to be at the same time as this tournament, that time being 17:30 Universal Coordinated Time, or whatever Universal Time is called. I'll go ahead and update some posts and stuff. If you guys ever want to help out with this tournament, or if you want to host a prismatic function event tournament of your own, I'm more than willing to help you do that. The whole point of these tournaments is to encourage us to interact more with the Prismatic community, more with the Hex community, to encourage our members to reach out to other communities or to build our own community. So I am looking forward to hosting Immortal Tears for as long as there's people interested in playing in them. Let's go ahead and check and see if they finished their first round match and if we can go and watch that in game. I don't see any information on that. Let's see if there's anything they're talking about in chat. Probably just a long match. PRG is a notoriously slow player. Kappa. The Yodel Scourge with the turtle speed plays. So we may be waiting just a little bit. I'll let you guys stare at this bracket for a while. Let it burn into your eye holes, and I will be back shortly.
Walk with your head up, high from the ghetto. Seeking the format, smack that stiletto. Boost in the treble, ride that staccato. All I wanna feel is bassline, make the wetter. Walk with your head up, high from the ghetto. Seeking the format, smack that stiletto. Boost in the treble, ride that staccato. All I wanna feel is bassline.
Okay, guys, we are back and we are ready to watch Game 1 of the PRG versus Slim Haven's Grudge match for first and second place. Now, the winner of this match, if it is PRG will be taking home first place prize and Slim Havens will be taking home second place prize. If Slim Havens wins this match, since we are a double elimination tournament, they will have to fight PRG again for a chance at Slim Havens taking home that first place prize in the double grudge match. I'm excited to see who gets off on this match or who wins in this match. Awkward. Again, Yodel Magok playing a little bit more of a troop-based Yodel deck. Not really that much of a troop-based Yodel deck. It has Phoenixes in it. That's the big change, the big difference. Versus a Diamond Sapphire tokens deck. Now, this is a little bit of an odd hand, having Sapphire Ice and Sapphire Shard, definitely looking for a resource out of the Sapphire Ice, but they really need to find some Diamond. Meanwhile, on Yodel's side, they've got an Ebony Pawn, they've got 2 light 'em ups, they have things to do for basically forever. Let's see how this goes. Now, we didn't see this shard in the first games. Let me get to it. It's in a very awkward and hard to click spot. The Heart of Agony. Lose 3 health, gain 3 charges. This card being a pretty strong card to play alongside of the Arena Regulars to deal an extra 3 damage to the opponent's face, and gives you an extra 1.5 uses out of your charge power. Definitely a new addition to Yodel Immortal, as far as I have seen. We've got our Diamond Threshold now on Cassia's side. This is still looking like a Sapphire Ice turn, though. This hand being a little bit slow for the Yodel Magok gameplay. Yodel now developing the Ebony Pawn. Ebony Pawn going to be rune-bound. Cassia wants none of that recurring item ups going on. Fortunately, no turn 3 play out of Cassia. Luckily for Cassia, no resource for Yodel. I'm going to really need to learn how to start calling these players by their names, because here soon we're going to have mirror matches, and I can't say Kagulichu for both players' names. So, PRG, not getting the resource this turn, but still having access to a burn, still having access to light 'em up, resources, lots of charges in hand, tons of charge gain. Could have a little bit of extra damage dealt from a well-timed Arena Regular. Probably debating at the moment whether they want to play the Slow Shard for a Blood or a Ruby, or if they want to play the Fast Shard, losing their charge gain 3 damage potential turn, but being able to deal 3 damage to their opponent's face, 4 damage to their opponent's face, and get those light 'em ups back this turn. We get the Iljune's Parade not playing it out this turn, but getting the double Light the Votives play out into a Consult the Talon. That was a huge amount of tempo there. If I could rewind here, I would, just to watch that over again. We have a Runebind in hand, we have the Iljune's Parade coming out here soon. Slim Haven could possibly walk on Yodel Magok's face when this Iljune's Parade hits the board. Now, he chose to create an extra Candlekin here. What was the merit of doing that over giving them +1/+1? It does develop a 3/3 minion on the board, which is pretty good. But we could have been threatening an additional 4 damage on this turn. Does that force an extra block? I think it does force an extra block. Is that extra block worth? Maybe, probably not. They probably had this either way, but that might have been a good turn to spend a little bit more time thinking about which one of the two choices to do. However, the 3/3 blocker does accomplish a similar role, because even if they were to have gotten back their Ebony Pawn and gone for a wider Candlekin plan or bigger Candlekin plan, they're not going to threaten 17 damage. The 3/3 is a decent chump blocker. So I think this was the play in the end. Just would have liked to see a little bit more time thinking about it. No Runebind available or anything of that sort, but no real threat on this turn. And that's it for game 1, PRG losing on Yodel Magog. The Candles deck was, I believe, just one turn ahead of them. Both players having fairly strong hands. Yodel losing their Ebony Pawn early and never seeing the shard was a little bit of a big deal, and these slow shards hurt Yodel's momentum a little bit. Let's go ahead and see you guys in a little bit for game 2 of the finals. Don't go anywhere. We are back with game 2 of the finals. Yodel is down 1, Cassia is up 1. We have the grudge match in between PRG and Slim Havens. If Slim Havens wins this, Slim Havens has to fight up against PRG again to determine first and second place. If PRG wins this, these guys are going to be playing one more match of this round to see who walks away with first or second. These two are in the finals. These two are fighting for first and second. They've almost gotten the grudge even between them. Let's see how this goes. We've got a very strong hand from Yodel here. The resources to play stuff, the Ebony Pawn, the reserves tech, the arena regular. Meanwhile, on Cassia's side, we have 3 resources on a Cyclone Shaper. That looks good to me. Along with the Iljune's Parade, some Cycle Function, and a dude that helps with Cycle Function as well. These troops, these 1/1 troops for 1 that are going to prophesize a draw card on the next action in deck, going to be pretty decent for Cassia here with the Iljune's Parade coming up at the end of the line, being able to pump those guys up by +2/+2 and put some decent numbers on the board. Meanwhile, on Yodel's side, they're trying to decide between Ebony Pawn or Arena Regular here. They choose the Arena Regular, so that way they can play out the Inquisitor of Lumos next turn, is my reasoning behind that. Double Thunderfield Seer here, just getting 2 procs of draw a card further into that deck and developing 2 1/1s. Pretty decent when we see this Iljune's Parade coming up. Inquisitor of Lumos there to sort of stifle their progression. The extra momentum at Cassia now comes at the cost of 2 HP per action used. Not playing Cyclone Shaper here. Does Cyclone Shaper require a second Sapphire threshold? Yes, it does. So instead, going a bit wider, looking to slam out the Iljune's Parade next turn and just push some damage sideways. Meanwhile, Yodel is just pushing some small amounts of damage at the moment. Fortunately, not a huge amount. It's looking a little dire from Yodel checking out these players' hands. How much damage is coming from this board, you might ask? That damage is 15. There actually doesn't need to be any blocks on this turn. But that will leave Yodel with 1 HP to try and deal 14 points of face damage. 12 points of face damage after we count the 2 life loss from Iljune's Parade. So Cassia is currently thinking about how they should play out this turn. It's looking like Iljune's Parade into just turning dudes sideways, but they do have the option of Cyclone Cloud Shaper into dealing tons of face damage to themselves. I like the idea of Iljune's Parade a bit better myself as well. So a 9 damage swing coming in, just leaving back some dudes so he doesn't have to block with the Iljunes, so he can keep the extra damage on board. We do see the Kappa Blade Duelist hit the board, and we have a burn in hand. Now this burn could go face, but it's most likely going to hit one of these elephants to kill them and remove a lot of damage from the board. Now if they kill one of these elephants, there's still going to be 2 damage on each one of these other troops. That puts us at 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 damage on the board. A lot of dudes that you have to block, and I'm not seeing 8 damage coming out of Yodel without his dudes. Has to block at least 3 troops if Cassia decides to swing without searching for stuff. What kind of top decks can we look for to be able to deliver this last 6 damage that we're looking for here? I don't know if there is anything really. There's a blocker in the air for Phoenix, so Phoenix isn't the answer. We can get 4 damage out of a Crackling Thunder. So unless there's tech in the deck that we are not thinking about or do not know about at the moment, like a Gorge of the Gorge God or something, I think this is game, which means they get to go on to the double grudge match. And a burn is not enough damage to do it. Yodel Magok losing. This is the 2nd time we've seen Slim Havens versus PRG. PRG beating Slim Havens the first time. Slim Havens beating PRG this time. They are now both knocked down into the losers brackets and fighting again. Winner of the next match determines 1st and 2nd place. I will see you guys back in just a little bit. Let's bring ourselves over to the brackets as we update that. Not that much has changed. So with this change, we have Slim Havens versus PRG yet again, semifinals. PRG versus Slim Havens, PRG winning. Slim Havens goes and fights Sargon Vito, comes back, finals, PRG versus Slim Havens. Slim Havens wins. The actual finals, the real finals, the losers bracket, winners bracket come together as one finals. Slim Havens versus PRG for the Double Grudge Super Revenge Megalathon match. Let's see who wins. I'll be with you guys shortly when we load up the match. Okay, guys, I'm back. Our finalists didn't know they needed to play one more match, so we're waiting on them to queue up and do their next match. So we're going to be waiting for about 7 minutes before the next bit starts. I'll come back to BS with you guys in just a little bit. Until then, enjoy some tunes as I coordinate behind the scenes with our players. Okay, guys, we are back. So, Slim Havens and PRG are currently queuing up to do their match. We'll have to wait a little while before you can watch that, so let's talk about some things. BS for a bit. So, Immortal Tears. I'm going to continue hosting Immortal Tears for as long as I can get players to do it. Immortal Double Elimination Tournament, first Friday of each month at 17:30 UTC. If anybody's interested in like helping with casting or helping with posting on brackets or anything of that sort, if they want to even just help promote it, get a hold of me. I'd love to spread the word about it. We were able to get enough players to do it this month despite a lot of people currently going on hiatus from Hex. So look forward to us on the first Friday of next month. We do our next Immortal Tears. It might be a little bit of a rough one just because there's a bit of a delay in between Hex sets at the moment, and unless they do like a flashback draft or something, our player base will continue to decline until we start getting spoilers again. Hey, Andrucci. So currently PRG can't get a hold of Slim Havens. If anybody has Slim Havens in Twitch or other locations, try and reach out to them. I think these two didn't realize they had one more match that they had to do. Slim Havens, if you are here in chat, you do still have one more match that you need to run against PRG. There is a 5-minute grace period for late arrivals that we will start counting towards now. After that, I will leave it up to your opponent PRG to decide how we continue. If we are going to host your match later on, wait until you get back, give you some extra time. But Slim Havens, you do still have one more match to play against PRG. So for the prizes for this tournament, we currently have, let me pull up the brackets on my end. Doom. At 4th place, we have R Kixlol, who's going home with 400 platinum, that's their entry fee, 4 salt harpies, and 1 set 1 pack. At 3rd place, we currently have Sargon Vito, who's going home with 1,200 platinum, that's 3 times their entry fee. A Reese the Crest Crawler, 1 set 1 pack, 1 set 2 pack, 1 set 4 pack, 1 paid spin legendary set 9 chest. At 2nd place, that is what this next match is going to determine. Our 2nd place champion is going home with 2,000 platinum, 1 Reese the Crest Crawler, 3 set 1 packs, 3 set 2 packs, 1 set 4 pack, 1 set 9 pack, and a legendary paid spin set 9 chest. Our first player, our winner of our next match, is going to go home with 2,000 platinum, 1 Reese the Crest Crawler, 1 Brilliant Annihilix, 1 Kindling Skarn, 1 Voice of Deendra, 1 double A X Engine, 2 set 1 packs, 2 set 2 packs, 2 set 4 packs, 1 set 6 pack, 1 set 7 pack, 1 set 8 pack, 1 set 9 pack, a Kismet's Draft Pack, and a legendary set 9 paid spin chest, and a legendary set 2 paid spin chest. All of these donations were graciously given to us by members of the Prismatic Guild. Our donation list: K2 donated some, Icecon donated some, Sargon Vito donated some, Novi donated some, PRG donated some, Mustache Magic donated a whopping 3,200 platinum, and Yukito also donated the double A Hex Engine. We'll be accepting donations for the next Immortal Tears, starting in between now and the first Friday of next month when the next Immortal Tears starts. Some of these donations went towards a stream giveaway won by R. Kickslow, and that was a draft pack. And some of the platinum for these prizes came from our entry fees. Now, we do reserve the right, according to what I wrote in the thing, we do reserve the right to take a small portion of the entry fee as a caster fee, just so that way any casters that want to run this for me, if I'm sort of like late or if I need to do something on the day of the Immortal Tears, can at least get something out of it. However, that is a case-by-case basis, and we don't usually pull from the entry fees whenever possible. So all the entry fees went back into the prize pool. So Slimhaven still has 2 minutes to show up. If Slimhaven doesn't show up, unfortunately, they're going to be at the mercy of their opponent PRG. They do qualify for a disqualification at being late. I think it's according to the rules I put in here. Let me see what the official term is. Yeah, 5 minutes after the last match of the last round is reported. You can play when I reach him. Yeah, you can give him more time. We can reschedule for the match at a later date, but he is at the mercy of your whim. They do qualify for a disqualification after being called late. So I'm going to put on some music and go stretch or something. I'll be back with an update for you guys in a little bit. Okay, guys. So it looks like Slim had somewhere to be. Hasn't gotten back to us. Probably just really had to go and do something and was just pushing for the last match in the Immortal Tears. Didn't realize there was one more match and is beyond our reach at the moment. So what PRG has decided to do is they're going to play a match off air when Slim comes back. And the winner of that match will get the first place prizes, the loser will get the second place prizes. So for now, the first and second place prizes are in the air. They're waiting for those two to have their matchup. I will go back and I will watch their match with the replay client and post the video for the first place match later on. Thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you very much for our participants. Sorry for the um, junk and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the tournament and put it on replay after I hop off, guys. I will talk to you all next time. Thank you very much for showing up for the Immortal Tears. Remember, we have another Immortal Tears on the first Friday of next month. At the same time, scheduled time 17:30 UTC. And remember, anybody who's able to join is awesome. You know, I would really like to be able to hit that number 8, that magical number 8 or more, every single time so we can get a good number of rounds, get the nice round tournament. Donations for the tournament, I'm going to start accepting those after this, and I'm going to start putting them forward towards the next tournament. Thank you guys very much for stopping by. After I get those matches done from PRG, I'm going to reach out to our top 3 places from this tournament, and I'm going to add them to the forum post so everybody can get their deck lists for those matches. Thank you again for stopping by, everybody, and look forward for that video on the first place matches coming up in the near future. You guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. I try and get some advertisement. I do need to work on that a little bit more, PRG. I reached out to some bloggers, to some streamers, a little bit of Twitter. I could do more Twitter. I could get better bumps on the forum posts. I could do Reddit shares. And I could reach out to more streamers over the week. Anyways, you guys, thank you very much for showing up. Thank you, Prismatic community. Thank you very much, Hex community. And again, we're going to be running these as long as we have players to do them. You guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time.